Hey everyone, Alex here, and welcome to the inaugural video of How to History. I am currently a PhD student getting my degree in American history. I focus mainly on the antebellum South, politics and society. That's the pre-Civil War South, for those of you who may not know Latin. Um, and what I want this channel to be is just a discussion of a bunch of different history topics and just a place to discuss this stuff. I love talking about it. I thought it'd be fun to make a YouTube channel about it and just see if we can get a nice community going. And for this first video, what I wanted to do was discuss the 10 books to read to understand US history. And this is assuming that you have been through like public school or maybe even have gotten a bachelor's degree in something that isn't history and you know the key facts about some of the bigger events in US history. So none of these books are going to cover World War II battles or Civil War battles or anything like that. They're going to be kind of books that give you perspectives on things that you might have not learned about and some perspectives on things from just a new viewpoint, so to speak. So I have these chronologically, so you should read them 1 through 10 as I'm about to show them to you. And they are also chronologically from like the inception of the United States to the end of it. And I'll put links to buy these books from Amazon or abebooks.com in the description of this video below. So the first book you are going to want to read is Forced Founders by Woody Holton. This discusses the beginnings of the American Revolution in Virginia, and it discusses Native Americans, enslaved people, debtors, and it's just a new look at how different people who were not white men factored into how the American Revolution began in Virginia. Just toss down the ground there. Next up, you're going to want to read A Respectable Army, The Military Origins of the Republic. This one was by James Kirby Martin and Mark Edward Linder. And what this book does, it does discuss the Revolutionary War, so you will get some battle stuff in here. But it kind of dispels the myth that militiamen fought in the Revolutionary War, because it's not true. The Congressional Army, Continental Army, they fought in the Revolutionary War. They're the ones that turned the tide, because before Valley Forge and before George Washington was able to throw an actual army together, they were losing all the time against the British. So you had to create a actual standing army to fight against the British. And this book does a good job of talking about that, talking about just how the Revolutionary War was fought, and it's from just a different viewpoint than most people usually hear coming through public school. Next book you're going to want to read is The Fate of Their Country by Michael F. Holt. This is my favorite history book. This book is, without the notes or appendix materials, 127 pages long. This book will tell you all you need to know about why the Civil War began. It's called Politicians, Slavery Extension, and the Coming of the Civil War. You're going to learn all about like the Kansas-Nebraska Act, Compromise of 1850, Compromise of 1820, the Missouri Compromise, which is that called, and just it's so great. It's honestly the best history book about the antebellum era, and it's pretty short too. It's an easy read. And I'll try to make almost all of these easy reads. All of them, except for one, are below 500 pages, and when I get to that one that's above 500 pages, there's a reason for that. But next up, we're going to go Soldiers, Blue and Gray by James I. Robertson. This book is about the Civil War, but it's not from like the battle standpoint. It's about what it was like to be a soldier in the Civil War and why men fought and what it was like once they fought in the Civil War. It's a really good book. I like when I talk about Civil War stuff and I do teachings on it and stuff like that. I like to discuss it from what it was like to live in this era or to participate in this war. You know, the battles are important to know, but they're not the whole story, and you don't really get a grasp of what that era of history is like just looking at it from those battle standpoints. Next up, we have A Short History of Reconstruction by Eric Foner. Eric Foner is the go-to guy for Reconstruction history. He has been for like 20, 25 years, maybe closing on 30 years at this point, honestly. And this book, he has like a 1,200 page book on Reconstruction. This is obviously not it. This book's like maybe 300 pages, if that. And it's just that book condensed. This will tell you all you need to know about Reconstruction. That slipped out of my hands. Now, next. This is the one. This is 515 pages long. This is Railroaded, the Transcontinentals, and the Making of Modern America. Why I picked this one is because it covers a lot of topics. It'll cover the American West and like the settlement of it via the railroad. It'll cover Gilded Age, and it'll cover a lot of stuff. The rise of capitalism in America. I believe this book covers a lot of topics, and it's barely over that 500-page limit. And Richard Wright is an amazing author, so you should definitely check it out. Next up, we have Great Exception, and this one is by, let's see here, Jefferson Cowie. This one is about the New Deal, and it's a newer look at the New Deal and how it kind of formed modern politics in America. And it's just a new look at it. You guys know World War II battles. You guys probably know Dust Bowl stuff. This will cover getting out of the Great Depression, and I think it's a good look at that. Next up, we have The Blood of Emmett Till. I picked this book because it is a look at race relations in the American South in the 1960s and 50s and just in the Jim Crow era. And it's a story everyone should know, the story of Emmett Till, and I believe it's a very important book to read. Next up, I have A Rumor of War by Philip Caputo. This is a soldier who fought in Vietnam, and this is his account. This is his account of the war, and then he came back as a journalist before the end of the war. And it's just his account of those first couple of years in Vietnam as a soldier and the fall of Saigon. And I think from his perspective, it's one of the best books on what the Vietnam War was like. And then lastly, you're going to want to read Daniel Immerwahr's How to Hide an Empire. This book is looking at the America through the lens of imperialism and empire, and it shows you just the entire history of America. This goes from before the revolution to like 2016, 2017, and shows you how America's imperialism factors in to its overall history. So after reading all those books I just listed, you read this, and it kind of puts it all in a new frame. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've read any of the books and what you think. And be sure to check back out on the channel. Remember, I post every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.